I want you to know that I am optimistic about the future of not only this country, but of this district. Make no mistake, there will be difficult days ahead. When the president talked about a recovery, he did not say it would happen overnight. We didn't get this way overnight. We're not going to change it overnight. It took 8 years of destruction to put us where we are today. But there is one sure sign that we are on the right track, and it is the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. Many people have asked, why did you all spend $787 billion? Let me say to you, had we not spent $787 billion, the very people that you are concerned about, your children and your grandchildren, would not have had a future at all. The cost of doing nothing is higher than the cost of doing something. It is so easy for people to say no. It is so easy. See, saying no is the easy way out. It's hard to sit down and have an intellectual conversation, to think about things in a critical way, and to make a change, to do something that no one else has done before. That's the hard part. Don't stop him, because that's what I mean about it's easy to say things that you aren't clear on. And since it was raised, let me just respond. It is don't argue with him. Don't argue with him. Don't argue with him, because you know the one thing I know is anyone who would believe that anyone in this country would euthanize old people is really got a problem. For those of you who do not know, for those of you who do not know the truth, what the legislation actually says is, if you choose to voluntarily go and see a physician and discuss end-of-life options, someone will be available to do that for you. Now, certainly I don't mind people disagreeing with what we're doing. I really don't. That is the democratic process. But all I can say to anyone, this is still my meeting. And I will be respectful of you if you will be respectful. Now, I have prepared just a very brief list of Recovery Act dollars and what it has meant to this district. But I want to just highlight a few things that maybe some of you might not know. Our congressional district received over $14 million in funding just for police officers from the Recovery Act. And they are going to be funded for the next 3 years. Our district received almost $14 million, which went directly to the Cleveland-Cuyahoga County Workforce Investment Board. If we don't start to train laid-off workers, young people with no skills, those who have lost their jobs. We are lost. So this money will allow you to go and be retrained. It will allow you to take up a new skill. It will allow you to take courses at community colleges. It will allow you to do many, many things that our community needs. That's $14 million. We have provided funds to weatherize the homes of our senior citizens and our low-income residents. And it is important because just because you are poor doesn't mean you should not live in a decent place. The weatherization projects alone will bring in more than 1,500 jobs in the state of Ohio. So they can't say we didn't create jobs. Our school districts have received more than $100 million in funding that kept teachers in the classrooms, that kept support staff on payroll. This funding is the largest infusion of education dollars at any one time in the history of this country for education. Cuyahoga County Public Library, Cuyahoga County Public Housing Authority received over $35 million to modernize public housing units, to install energy-efficient plumbing and electrical systems and roofing. These are just a fraction of what came to this district. And people say, where did all the recovery money go? The recovery money came to us to help people. When you look at Head Start, we have almost $3 million coming to early Head Start and Head Start because our children deserve a chance to get through school. Were you aware of the fact that a child should enter kindergarten knowing at least 200 words? They should know their colors, their shapes, their sizes. They should know their parents. I'm glad you do. But you know what? The majority of the children who come from poor families know 50 words. They don't know their shapes, their colors, their sizes, or their parents' names. And so we need to get them. So we can't expect for them to succeed if we don't send them to school prepared. So we are working to make sure that every child has a good foundation before we send them to school. I have also spent a lot of time talking about how we modernize schools, how we put new equipment in them, and we have given you the resources to do that. For those of you who have college students or are college students yourselves, we have provided an increase in Pell Grants up to $5,550 this year, increasing up to $6,900 over the next 10 years. We have lowered the rate on need-based subsidized federal student loans. We have increased the Perkins Loan Program, and we have created a shorter and simpler FAFSA. If anybody has sent a child to school, it is estimated that in the 2003-2004 school year, 1.5 million college students who were likely eligible to receive Pell Grants didn't apply because they could not figure out how to fill out the FAFSA form. We've also put in place things that we believe will keep young people in school and allow them to graduate. We have worked with places like Tri-C to give them partnerships with businesses in our communities and training in areas where people are still hiring. There is no sense in us spending money in some of the manufacturing that we used to have because it is gone. So let's put our focus on places where people can really get jobs.